hustle every day.
Okay, so we start off in Manchester, but in between time, as a matter of updates, Newcastle 2, Leicester 0 in that particular game. Now we start off in Manchester, where Kevin De Bruyne has been the one brewing Manchester City's success over the last few years or so. He has contributed quite a lot to the successes of Pep Guardiola's side. But this week, he announced that he is finally departing the blue side of Manchester. Now the question lingers: is he the best ever midfielder to have donned the sky blue of Manchester City, or perhaps to have strutted his stuff in the English Premier League or not? What legacy does Kevin De Bruyne leave on the blue side of Manchester? Ajo?
Big man.
KDB. Yeah. KDB, man. He's been one of the most fearsome midfielders in the Premier League, an assist king for that matter. First of all, controversial question. Is he the best midfielder to have ever worn the Man City jersey?
Oh, yes. Obviously. Arturo was there, so a little bit difficult, but Arturo was a central midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder, so I'll give it to Kevin Durant because he was an attacking midfielder, but still midfield, so yeah, him, then Arturo, then Silva.
You sure?
So it's not too difficult for me because the legacy is crazy.
But on the basis of what would you place him at the top of this pile? Is it just his statistics?
At City?
At City. We'll come to the bigger conversation, but let's start with the City one.
His loyalty to City, his aura, his understanding of the game with coaches that came there. Pep. I remember the UCL final where they lost to Chelsea and he had an injury and their chairman was like, "Don't worry, bro. We win the Champions League the next year or the next year. We'll win it. So stick and stay with us, and you can win it with us in the next coming year." So he was loyal to City and he stayed there and they won the Champions League, and that was it for. So he's a legend of the club. The statue is a normal thing because City don't have so many legends, so they can build statues for probably just any player that passes through. Because let's say De Bruyne passed through Madrid or Barca or Chelsea, maybe he won't get a statue. But for City, looking at their pedigree and how money came to the club before they became that big boy, he deserves a statue. So it's a City legend for me and one of their greatest players of all time.
So, Adam,
crazy.
He's in your era, so you watch him.
Yeah.
You understand?
Why is he that young?
Andam, if I mention some name right now, Andam will be quicking his boots. So let me just take it easy on him. Andam,
yeah.
KDB. I mean, from Chelsea to Wolfsburg to Manchester City. I mean, what kind of career has he had for Man City?
A trophy-laden one. One that, I mean, he's seen it all, and he's really cemented his name amongst the very best when it comes to people who have played for Manchester City, if you ask me. And undoubtedly, he's a legend for me. Is he City's best ever player? I think he will be right up there amongst the likes of David Silva, Aguero, and in more recent times, Haaland and everything. I think there's even an old guy, Samabi or something. But yeah, I mean, he deserves his flowers, Kosi. And I mean, when it comes to the creativity he offers, not many players offer that in the Premier League. We've seen several guys do it, but in this Manchester City team, it's just as though if De Bruyne doesn't play, I mean, if you put the past 2 seasons aside, he's had his struggles with injuries in the past 2 seasons or so. But when Kevin De Bruyne is fit and he's firing on all cylinders, he's virtually unplayable. Not many players in the world can do what he does, and he's just a genius with the ball. Sometimes the kind of passes he gives, I call it the banana pass. It's kind of like a bend. It evades all the defenders, and you see some Mahrez or Sterling or Sané even tap it home, and it's just beautiful to see. So I think he's right up there amongst the very best. I wouldn't say he's the greatest Premier League midfielder because, I mean, we've seen, credit to the old guys, we've seen really, really good stuff, but he's right up there amongst the mix.
Amazing. Eustace, you are the man who would always crunch the numbers. And in crunching the numbers, in comparison to the likes of David Silva, etc., is Kevin De Bruyne the best to have strutted his stuff at the Etihad?
Well, to be honest with you, this looks like a very close shave between De Bruyne and Yaya Toure. Yeah. And considering the fact that Yaya Toure played for Man City for 8 years and De Bruyne played for 10 years, you can say there is a match in it. when you look at the goal scored, everybody likes the statistics. I've always said I don't believe so much in the statistics, though you say I'm a man of numbers. But when you look at the statistics, Kevin De Bruyne scored 78 goals.
Yeah,
70 goals. There are about 70 plus goals.
Yeah.
There's not much in it because Yaya Toure scored 59 goals. So just an 11 goal difference if you are comparing the effect. But then again, let me just buttress the point that Kevin De Bruyne is a player who brings so much beyond goals, beyond even the assists. When we talk about a playmaker who can operate a team from deep within, some of the kind of passes he gives, and to give the plaudits to him as he deserves, Pep Guardiola said that under his reign at Barcelona, Lionel Messi was an exceptional number 10. He said that he's the only player in the world who he was never going to bench. However, Kevin De Bruyne is a different kind of number 10.
Yeah.
He's a playmaker who gives you several options. His peripheral vision and his ability to give those passes that slice through defenders is one of a kind. He said he hasn't seen any other kind of number 10 do what Kevin De Bruyne does. And for his injury rate, and you look at the number of times he's been on the stretcher, you could tell that he gives this Man City team a lot more options when he plays. It's very evident for everybody to see. Not when he gives just the assist or the goal, but the way he reads the game, the way he's able to find runners off the ball. If we're looking at what they call the pre-assist, or that slicing pass that opens up the wing, that diagonal ball.
The pass before the pass, they call
the
it.
pass before the assist.
Key pass,
exactly.
yeah.
When you're looking at all those things and the way he's able to transition as a number 10, number 8, even when he has to press up front, he has to play as a false number 9. What he's given this Man City team in the last 10 years that he's been there is absolutely phenomenal. Pep Guardiola is right to celebrate it, because for Pep to say that after Lionel Messi, this is the number 10 he values the most throughout his career, it says a lot about the guy. And we've seen his quality. Over the years, we've compared him to different players. But I think he's been a standout, and he will be celebrated when he's gone even further, because we'll find out.
So not to stop you, Newcastle have got a third against Leicester City. And Harvey Barnes benefited from the industry of Joe Linton, who also benefited from the industry of Alexander Isak, and they are walking through Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester City as though they were a park. So Ruud, with the Ruud awakening, Hermanson is probably hemorrhaging, wild face. Somebody say he's the worst centre back he's seen play in the Premier League. Stood and watched, but Newcastle are making this look so easy. 2 up against 5. I mean, 2 up against. You just look at that. 2 up against 5, and they still managed to score. I mean, look at the body language of the Leicester City players.
Like just schoolboy defending.
Just look at the body language.
Schoolboy defending.
They've completely given up on this. I think they feel that no matter what, even if they pull up trees, they are not going to stay up. And Harvey Barnes would not have an easier goal to score than what he's just put away. So it's Leicester 0, Newcastle 3, 34 minutes played. And this is signed, sealed, and delivered
easily.
Charlie,
already.
Goal defense for Chelsea had to think about for you. Look at what they are doing.
Charlie, Newcastle get 2 games in hand. You know that.
Yeah, there's
Chelsea,
one.
Yeah, but Chelsea get plus 17.
Crazy.
Right? Let's check Newcastle's goal difference in that top 4 race.
Plus
about
12.
Plus 12. Okay. So if you say they go for close some with this game, if possible. But then again, the 5th place plays in Champions League this season. So small Vim data side. But then again, let's see. We'll come to the Chelsea conversation when we talk about the top 4 conversation anyway. But currently, Newcastle are home and dry. The Magpies are soaring high up against the Leicester City team, who can't seem to find anything this season. They are as hapless as they could ever be. The king power. So back to you, Eustace.
Yeah, so I was just rounding up on Kevin De Bruyne and what he's brought to this Man City team, and what only makes him look better than Yaya Toure is the number of titles he's won whilst at Man City. I think the Leicester fans are already going home. King Power is half empty at the moment. I think they've seen enough. I'm praying for their next attendance at their next home game.
No. You see, the thing is with these British people, they will come to the stadium, no matter what. See, I've seen a Chelsea Sunderland game at Stamford Bridge where Sunderland had been relegated. The fans travelled
to come and watch.
Yes.
Watch what?
Football.
No, I mean, if you are going to watch a fight, like your team fight for something is different. But they traveled. They bought train tickets.
They came. The away end was full to capacity.
Wow.
They came to watch.
Wow.
Even the season Aston Villa got relegated, I was in Birmingham then, and there were game after game. They knew they were going down, but they still kept coming to the stadium. Yeah.
That's the passion.
Yeah. Southampton have been relegated. Watch their next game.
St. Mary's will be full.
It will be full. They will come.
Anyway, but Kevin De Bruyne, let me come back to him. He's done something really marvelous for them. Really decorated. They've set that record for Premier League titles in a row, and he's been an integral part of it. I think the biggest moment for him was the Aston Villa game when they were down by 2-0, and that iconic image of him lacing his boots to do battle in the last 20 minutes is a summary of the mental grit that Man City has enforced, whilst Kevin De Bruyne has been their live wire. He's supplied all the strikers, from Haaland going down, whoever it was, Julian Alvarez, going back to Sergio. He's been there, done that. I think he's paid his dues, and congratulations are in order to Kevin De Bruyne. Fantastic career at Manchester City. He's done it all, even with the injuries. Nobody can say he didn't give 100%. So congratulations and good luck on his next move.
So good luck to Kevin De Bruyne on his next move. I don't know if Kekeli has watched Kevin De Bruyne a lot. What team do you support, Kekeli?
I'm shy to say it right now, but Manchester United.
Oh, they are here.
We are here.
This one has run away.
Don't be shy.
This one has run away.
Don't be shy. This one remains red.
This one has run away.
Straight up.
We will bring him back, whether he likes it or not. You come and face the music. But Charlie, I mean, for you, what kind of player has he been, Kevin De Bruyne?
How would I put it? Outstanding for Manchester City. I've watched him play some exciting games in the past, and he's always solid in the middle there, making sure everybody gets fed and where possible score a goal. So yes, I watch this play and it's exciting. So I like his play still.
Amazing. So Kevin De Bruyne has been fantastic. I had a lad call into my show on Saturday, a young boy. I'm sure I'll do a playback of that pretty shortly, of what he said about Kevin De Bruyne, but absolutely phenomenal player he has been. About Joe?
Yeah.
Now let's take the conversation Premier League wide.
Yeah.
I mean, he started his Premier League career at Chelsea. Didn't really cut it. I mean, you can't blame him.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Willian, Hazard, Oscar. I mean, he had the Charlie squad. The squad be thick.
I think right.
And then he went on to Man City. But I mean, Premier League wide. Do you think? I mean, there've been arguments that he's arguably the best playmaker to have ever played in the Premier League. There've been arguments otherwise as well.
Midfielder.
Which side of the divide do you stand?
Before I touch on this, Steve said something. When you were talking, you made mention of Pep seeing Messi as a number 10.
Yeah.
As a playmaker.
Yeah.
And I've been saying this for some time now. I even say Messi is a playmaker, Hazard is a playmaker. When you see the paperwork and the lineup is there, you see them on the left wing or the right wing.
Yeah.
But they are playmaking for
They
them.
have a free role.
Exactly. And when you make this submission, people don't really get it. So I was happy you were you were spot on with saying Pep saw Messi as a playmaker.
Yeah. Messi is a playmaker.
He's a playmaker.
He's a playmaker. Everything evolves around him. Even in Argentina, he's a playmaker.
Eden Hazard was a typical playmaker.
Of course.
You say these people will try and argue, but he will be on the left wing. But the game is in session.
So he has a license to move around, to drift central, to if there need be and he has to go to the right or he has to switch flanks. He's a playmaker. Everything is evolving around him.
You, Leicester, I think, are cursed. They need to.
They've conceded again?
No, they almost scored. If you see the circumstances under which the ball didn't go into the net, it hit two sides of the bar. So just watch this carefully. So Patson Daka.
It's not offside.
No, I think it was very marginal. But just look at this.
Crazy.
Oh wow!
It's not. The ball is not.
They have to beg the gods. Because this is bizarre.
No, it's not meant to go in.
But their project is actually fun. When Maresca left, he went in for Cooper. I mean, come on, bro.
That's a total change in philosophy.
Yeah,
two different styles.
And they didn't really invest in beefing up the squad as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get away with that. Anyway, back to you.
So yeah, I'm happy you mentioned that Messi is a playmaker, and you kept hammering that. Pep has been saying that he's a playmaker. But to your question, it's crazy when we say is he the best midfielder in the EPL. I think that's a wide statement to make, because we've seen crazy midfielders grace the EPL. But when it comes to midfielders, when we talk about midfielders, we have the number 6, and we can even break it down to 2 positions. That's the deep line playmaker, and also the box to box, or the traditional cutter of the ball, the traditional DM, like the Casemiros and
your Kantes,
exactly. And you have the deep line playmakers like your
Rodri, your Busquets, your Pello,
back then Pello, Jorginho and co.
Yeah.
So because we are categorizing De Bruyne as a midfielder, he doesn't fit in as number 6. So we'll pass there. When we go to number 8, was he a number 8?
He has played as an 8.
Exactly. Exactly. But is he the best number 8 to grace the EPL? I would say no.
Yeah.
So I want to be bold enough and say Kevin De Bruyne is the best central attacking midfielder to grace the EPL.
In that category, I can agree with you.
Yes. So the question comes as a midfielder. If you say, is he the best midfielder to play the EPL? I would say 0. No. He's not even probably top 3.
I mean, You make your
say
point.
that again. Say that again. Say that again. The last line.
If you ask me if KDB is the best midfielder in the EPL, I would say no. Not even top 3.
Central midfielder.
General midfielder.
Because KDB is not a mid. I won't categorize him as a midfielder per se.
No, he's per description, right? He's a midfielder. He's not a winger.
He's not a winger.
He's not a winger. He's an attacking midfielder. So he can play as he can play as a Terry Quartista. He can play as a number 8 sometimes.
Yeah.
He can play as a number 6.
So
definitely not.
I want to break down this midfield rule before we get it before.
Yeah. So I think we should limit it, right? If not, we'll be too generalized in our description.
Yeah.
Now, if we are classifying or categorizing, let's put him in the category of attacking midfielder. Central attacking midfielder. So number 10 is an attacking midfielder, and number 8 sometimes is ZXZ 9.5. Sometimes. So let's keep it in that category. Just so it gives us a very clear bird's eye view of how we are analyzing him as a player.
For that, it's so easy. He's the best central attacking midfielder to grace the EPL.
You're sure about that?
No doubt. Let's look at the EPL and mention 5 central attacking midfielders of all time that has been so powerful and consistent in the EPL. I'm even looking at the numbers here, and it's leading the assist of all time. And that's crazy.
Assist of all time, I don't think so. I think there's Ryan Giggs.
Sorry, my bad. Ryan Giggs.
And every Ryan Giggs.
Because Ryan Giggs was a winger, I'm skipping him for the central attacking midfielder.
But even Ryan Giggs can, at some point, based on, when he was aging, they weren't really playing him as a winger anymore.
They played him central
attacking midfielder.
Because he didn't have the pace.
Yeah. So even that's arguable.
So I even feel like asking this question: has the EPL provided a lot of central attacking midfielders?
There have been some names. There have been the Ozils. There have been
Fabregas.
Is he a legend of the EPL?
Ozil?
Yes.
I think the fact that he didn't win trophies with Arsenal is
that puts a dent on his record.
Because Fabregas played 10 at in the EPL.
I mean, when he was playing for Arsenal, no, he didn't.
For Chelsea, he did.
No, for Chelsea, he didn't.
I mean, there were times he did.
Box to box kind of
he played
alongside.
He played as an 8.
As a deep line playmaker.
Yeah, together with Kante. So
sometimes confusing. So for me, De Bruyne has showed us that when you want to learn central attacking midfield, you have to go to him and learn it from him. The passes, how he will measure the pass for you, how he understands the game, how he reads the game from that position, from that 8 hybrid to the 10. He's a master, and people learn from him. So for me, all time, I'll give it to him, the best central attacking midfielder to grace the EPL. He has, like you said, Giggs leading the 162, and he has 118 assists, followed by Fabregas 111. So the gap is Rooney also played supporting striker.
No, Rooney played as a number 10 later in his career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a time he even played as a central midfielder.
He even played as a winger.
Yeah.
When we had Ronaldo and Tevez.
Exactly.
In that season, he sacrificed and played on the wing.
So Rooney might compete a little bit with him, but what De Bruyne has done for the EPL, we have to.
I think I'm in agreement. I mean, I think De Bruyne tops it. It's not just the role and the numbers, but it's the kind of play. He spoke about the weight of the pass. I mean, if you look at the crossfield ones, where he even squares the ball, where he even goes diagonal, he has that Paul Scholes kind of vision, even when he's behind. And I mean, that through ball, the how delicate the passes are and how he's able to find. I mean, strikers, I'm sure all over, and he's partially responsible for Romelu Lukaku's numbers for Belgium as well. Because
exactly,
he makes it so easy to score goals. He the pass splits everybody open, and unless you are a striker who's not serious, you are going to score if you have a De Bruyne cooking behind you. His assist rate is crazy, and sometimes when it's not even the assist, but it's the pass that opens up even before the assist comes. I mean, there's nobody. I'm a Manchester United fan. There's nobody who appreciates good football who look at Kevin De Bruyne and tell you he's got weaknesses going forward. He has the occasional shot, and when it opens and you are so sure, he has that accuracy, precision, skill, everything you need in a creative player is Kevin De Bruyne. I think he epitomizes that position for the English Premiership because the football is so fast and direct. There really isn't a lot of room for that kind of creativity, but he does it with direct football even. So I think you're right. Kevin De Bruyne should top this list.
Yeah. So it's halftime in that game between Leicester City and Newcastle United. Leicester City have been dragged so badly. I mean, the bruises are there for all to see. Jacob Murphy with a brace and Harvey Barnes with another to make it 3-0. Mr. Andam, Kevin De Bruyne, the best central attacking midfielder ever.
Oh, I agree with that school of thought. There's even this school of thought that says that if he was in Liverpool, Klopp would have beaten Pep to the Premier League title on several occasions.
It's possible.
Yes.
It's possible.
Because he would have fed that front three for them to do the magic.
Without him, the City team never looked the same.
Yeah.
In terms of creativity. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. When Kevin De Bruyne is coming from an injury, we know Man City are going to go on that unbeaten run. 15 games, 20 games. He was always that factor. Every time they did it, look at his form. Without him, I mean, this Man City team obviously has quality in all positions, but there are certain roles. The spine of that team is crucial. Rodri, De Bruyne, and whoever is striking.
Yeah. And you don't get the same numbers from Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva or even Gundogan compared to De Bruyne.
We are criticizing Man City this season, for example, because of their numbers, the numbers of the wingers, and we are criticizing everybody who's playing for it because when you take Erling Haaland out, Foden is the next with 7 goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And that's...
I mean, for Mamouche to come and have 5 each, then it means that Foden is...
Anyway, let's hear what Andam has to say.
No, I'm just saying, I agree with Ajo, because, I mean, if you ask me, I'll say, the people who come close to De Bruyne, I would mention Fabregas, David Silva, and more recently Bruno Fernandes, because he also takes that box. But I mean, what De Bruyne has done. I remember that game against Real Madrid, I think 2023 or so, where he that long range strike. I mean, if you really know De Bruyne, you know that he has that in him. He's a captain too. He's a leader. He's got that in him. I mean, if okay, let me just say this. I think if Coutinho had stayed at Liverpool, maybe he would have come close.
I like that.
Maybe. Because Coutinho was the number 10. And people have forgotten that Coutinho, I think, because people, let's be honest, Coutinho was never going to suit and fit in that Barcelona team. They were not going to play him as the number 10. They had Messi. But I think if he stayed at Liverpool, he could have gone on to do, because he has the same play style. Maybe not in terms of work rate, because De Bruyne is, I mean, when it comes to work rate, you can't compare him and Coutinho. But set pieces, dribbling, vision, passing, shot power, I mean, all of that. Coutinho had that. Ozil didn't have the pace to match De Bruyne and the other guys. Ozil was in the team that, I mean, he was feeding Aubameyang and Lacazette and everything. It was there to see. But, I mean, unfortunately, he didn't win as many trophies. I think David Silva for me was more of an 8. He wasn't a typical 10. He was more of a dictator than that creative linchpin in your team. So, yeah, he tops the list for me. De Bruyne really does top the list.
Amazing. Ajo, you wanted to say something?
Because I think the EPL is not producing enough number 10s in recent times.
Is it just the EPL or football in general? Because it looks like the number 10 position is becoming a bit obsolete.
Because of the coaches of like the current crop of coaches we have. They will line up a 4-3-3 and they'll give you instructions that won't even suit a traditional number 10. Okay, on the ball you have to do a double 8, a certain 6, just go and come. So is the number 10, is it fading off?
I think
I don't know.
Slightly with the emergence of the 4-3-3, Because if you watch Hansi Flick's 4-2-3-1, they are playing with the number 10.
Yeah.
And Barcelona don't typically shape up with the 4-2-3-1, but this season in particular, Dani Olmo and Gavi are having to, play as a
But I think football has become more possession based, right? And when the game is possession based, you don't need that much of a creative outlet because your team is moving in phases, right? So it means you're moving the ball, playing out from the back, short passes, etc. Now Messi thrived in that team, Barcelona team, because he was a ball carrier, right? And number 10 typically doesn't carry the ball. You're supposed to be the one behind the striker to give the passes, to that metronome, that
basically everything passes through you.
Ideally, but then the football has become very mechanical, where Charlie's passes triangles, passes triangles, passes triangles. Yeah. So a lot of number 10s are not able to thrive with their skill set because a lot of them wouldn't track back. A lot of them would actually wait to see the spaces and not contribute fully to play. There are sometimes when you don't see the number 10 until the ball is in the attacking phase, and then they find that pinpoint through pass. And then like Ozil, Ozil wouldn't track back.
Exactly.
Not for anything, not for all the team in China would he track back. But then when he gets the ball in the hole and he has to make that pass, he's absolutely lethal at it. So Charlie, Abo Abba. Charlie, so some Okokroko just entered the studio right now. Straight from the Republic Bar. No, Andam, you go drink some.
I'll go drink some.
Ice.
Charlie, because that's why I appreciate Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. But Moku Hype Republic small. They bring Okokroko for we Moku drink. They bring Okokroko for we Moku drink inside the studio. But while you're appreciating Bruno Fernandes, I'll open the phone lines for my first batch of calls. Let me hear what my people think as well. 0542 571 061 0542 571 061. Do you think Kevin De Bruyne arguably is the best central attacking midfielder to have graced the Premier League or not? If you disagree, which other names would you bring up? What kind of legacy has he left at City, and why is the number 10 fading? Yes, carry on. Ajo.
Let me also say this. When you ask me, Ajo, between Fabregas and De Bruyne, let's pick one for your team. I'm always going for Fabregas. That to play the 10 or the 8, I'm okay. Because that guy I always feel was underrated, even when he came back to Chelsea. I love Cesc Fabregas so much. And even though I'll pick, because of longevity, I'll pick De Bruyne as my central attacking midfielder of all time in the EPL. But what Fabregas did for even Arsenal before he left to Barca, when he used to go and play the false 9, even for Spain and Barca, if you remember, played false 9, played as a 10 in the EPL.
Charlie, more Okokroko is entering the studio. More Okokroko. Charlie, Okokroko is I think it's a house favorite at Republic. So you cannot go to Republic and not. You cannot go to Republic and not drink Okokroko. Charlie, if you go Republic, you drink some before there. Wala. So Charlie, Kekeli. Charlie, you do all.
Charlie, thank you guys very much also. So we can look forward to have you guys in the house tomorrow and everybody else.
Sharply, we shall be there.
Alright.
So tomorrow, if you want to get a feel of this Okokroko and more, kindly join us at Republic Bar for the watch party. 7 p.m. sharp. It's kickoff. Charlie, all and sundry, if you are listening to the show, pull through. Let's do this. Thank you, Kelly, for joining us, and thank you for the Okokroko. We appreciate it very, very, very much as well. So we're moving on. Joe.
So in wrapping up, I'm saying that let's also appreciate Cesc Fabregas, because I feel like his time at the EPL was a little bit underrated. When he left Arsenal, went to Spain, and came back to Chelsea. He's a proper central midfielder. Can combine playing as a box to box, also play as a number 10, and he has shown it. His passing, I don't know between him and De Bruyne, the passing accuracy, who I'm going to pick, but I love Cesc Fabregas for whatever he did for football. So I'm a half Belgian when it comes to supporting Kevin De Bruyne, but Fabregas, crazy guy.
I was saying if Coutinho had stayed at Liverpool, he could have gone on to become like a De Bruyne.
And I agree.
Jurgen Klopp told Coutinho. He told Coutinho that stay at Liverpool. They'll build a statue for you. And I'm quoting him verbatim. When Coutinho wanted to leave to Barcelona, it was 88 million, something ridiculous in that region. But Coutinho's style, let me beg to differ, is slightly different. Coutinho is a bit more selfish. Doesn't look for that extra pass. Doesn't have the same quality when it comes to deliveries. Coutinho was a much more selfish player. Will take that shot, and he had it in him he will score. He was probably better at shooting than De Bruyne.
Yeah.
I'd say he was shooting more.
Yeah, from the outside of the box.
And from the outside of the box.
Johnson, yeah.
De Bruyne has it, but De Bruyne always look for that intelligent move. I would personally still keep De Bruyne over Coutinho. Felipe Coutinho did good for Liverpool, but he didn't stay long enough to prove his worth. So I'd say with Coutinho, I'll just hold my reservations and say I'll still pick Kevin De Bruyne.
And what do you make of Fabregas and De Bruyne?
So the Fabregas issue, I mean, I've been waiting to.
You make I forget my call. 0542 571 061. What do you think, Charlie? De Bruyne, the best to have done in the Premier League or not? Charlie, who would you compare him to? Where does he rank for you? Let us know your thoughts. 0542 571 061. Let us hear from you. Yes, carry on, Eustace.
Fabregas and De Bruyne, I'd love to have both of them in the same team. They can function as an 8 and 10, and it will be deadly. I mean, Fabregas can play as a deep line playmaker better than De Bruyne, but going forward, I think De Bruyne gives more options than Fabregas. I mean, he has a better shooting accuracy when the space opens up. That finesse ball, but passing, I think Fabregas is better from the middle of the pitch.
Iniesta will be like Xavi, and then De Bruyne will be like Iniesta.
Yeah, they can do that. Yeah, they can do that. Iniesta's dribbling ability is above both of these.
Oh yes, you don't want there.
Yeah, Iniesta's dribbling ability. So then again, you are introducing another quality.
Yeah.
But both of them played in England, and in England, it doesn't count much for skill. It's all about accuracy, speed, precision, passing, and. If you have De Bruyne, and they played in two different eras, but I think the quality stands out. Fabregas behind De Bruyne would have been fantastic. It will be difficult to take one over the other because there are different variations when it comes to their play and their understanding of the game. But going forward, I mean, in the 10 role, I think I'll go with De Bruyne.
So it means De Bruyne is standing head and shoulders up above all of these midfielders. Hey, Charlie, my people are calling and I'm missing their calls. Anyway, it is a heated conversation right here. So you would expect that. 0542 571 061. 0542 571 061. We have a lot of messages that are coming through as well. But let me take this call and then we'll go to the messages. Yes, boss. Good evening. Your name and where you are calling from?
Yo, the General.
Yes, boss.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Please, your name and where you are calling from?
Yeah, this is Fredem calling from Sukum.
Fredem, where from?
I follow for you,
Mautameli, Amega. Yeah, talk to me, sir.
A big shout out to Nami and the Kinajo.
Charlie, did they big you pull up or did they big you up?
Yeah, big
Charlie.
Yeah, okay, so De Bruyne, yes. Just like you said, arguably he's one of the best midfielders to grace the EPL. And
when he has the ball, they need him to do that what he does best, the quality passes, that line breaking passes, that quality, that tailor measured passes should go to the flanks or the number 9. So maybe that's just like him. It happens. Example, Hazard at Chelsea under Antonio Conte, he does nothing defensively, but on the ball he has to help the team, and that's why you have people like Rodri to do the recoveries and the ball, the tackles for him. So football is now played with instructions. The instructions you are given during the game is what you have to do. Some coaches are flexible with their instructions on some of their key players. So if he says he was expecting Kevin De Bruyne to be defended, some number 10s have to track back, whether I like it or not. Under some coaches, some too, you have to just scan around and watch your area when you don't have the ball. So,
I mean, look at Griezmann and Attico. He tracks back.
Yes, that's
because Simeone wants him to.
System, you see. So I don't really agree with him. Let's wrap up on the Lampard and Gerrard conversation, because they've brought the combo from number 10 to the typical old modern form of number 8, and that was always Lampard. I was saying that how Lampard arrives in the box must be studied, and I feel like that is how Bellingham is learning from. He's learning from Lampard, Loki, and most of them probably the England players, because the way Lampard will get around the D during his Chelsea days, one long ball from the back there, and he's moving. He knows that the ball will come to him definitely for him to get a shot or a pass, accurate pass to the box or inside the post. So Lampard's role, people have not really learned it, because when Pep came in, he came to redefine the midfield position. a stagnant or a stable number 6, double 8 with different kind of instructions. The deep line playmaker, the double 8 who go and press and come. They changed that flat three that Don Carlo and Co were doing in the 2010s and Co. Where Lampard will be like that typical box-to-box player where he goes and comes back and come and cover up. And Lampard was an underrated passer of the ball. He has the assist for Lampard is what is it, 102, and that's people were calling him selfish.
Penalty merchant.
Yeah. But look at 100+ assists. So for me, the all-time EPL midfielder, I'm always going for Frank Lampard. It's crazy. Frank Lampard for me, I'll give props to Steven Gerrard. Paul Scholes is a different kind of breed. I don't know, that guy is dangerous. People didn't really watch Paul Scholes, but his long passes. I keep on telling my boys, like the players I train, watch Paul Scholes.
So I'll tell you something. When I was penning my intro today, I actually thought of this. So I wrote that we asked the big question.
Yeah.
Is KDB the best midfielder to grace a Premier League? Or does he simply sit at the table of greats like Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard without pulling the head chair?
Or they'll give him an invite. They will invite him for sure.
Because I think this issue is totally subjective. I've been quiet listening to all the opinions and everything, but I think these players all have different qualities, and I think their positioning is key. So the caller who made the point about Michael Carrick.
Carrick is a defensive midfielder. He's not in this conversation.
Yes, I know. But you see, I think what he wanted to weigh in, which he wasn't constructing properly, was that. You see this Man City team, we've seen De Bruyne play. We've seen him play without Rodri. We've seen him play with Rodri. And we see how ineffective everybody is when Rodri doesn't play. I think he was talking about the impact Michael Carrick brought to the game. Not goals, not assists, but the balance of play. And I think that's where he wanted to credit Carrick, not per statistics. So, and you were right to tell him that he was a defensive midfielder, was a deep line playmaker. So he doesn't come in the conversation, because with that we have to drag Claude Makelele, we have to drag Rodri and everybody. And imagine comparing Rodri to De Bruyne.
No, absolutely.
Mismatch. You understand? And even with all the midfielders we are mentioning, Lampard was very intelligent with his positioning also. Lampard made those surging runs, arrived late in the box. And I think it was a tactic he picked up when Mourinho came to Chelsea. I think it was something Mourinho worked on.
I think it was because at the time, Mourinho was playing an ACN in midfield, and probably a Makelele.
So the freedom.
Yeah, or he was playing an ACN at a point and maybe a Ballack.
Mikel sometimes.
Or an ACN and a Ballack. So Lampard was playing off, so he was playing like a double number 10 in Joe Cole, and probably Lampard. So Lampard was playing off Joe Cole, and Joe Cole probably drift to the right a lot of the time, and Drogba's physicality up front, etc. I mean, the left wing was always unpredictable. But I think because of those two that were always there, that's why probably ACN doesn't have a lot of goals. And because he was always sitting in there doing the dirty work, and Lampard always had the free will to search for it. So maybe that's why.
And Lampard had great figures when it came to goal scoring and everything. People said he was a bit selfish and everything, but I think he was a great player. And I think it's unfair to compare Lampard to somebody like Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes started his career as a centre forward. I think,
I never knew that.
Well, he started as a centre forward. Even Rio Ferdinand started as a striker. But eventually they found their positions, and Scholes in the middle of the pitch. We all know how bad a tackler he was. So I think Scholes' best position for him, central midfielder, not defensive. I mean, we played him defensive a lot of the time, but I think his strength was central midfield, where the tackling responsibilities wasn't lying solely on him. But Scholes had that better passing range than all of them. I mean, I haven't seen a better long ball passer, except for maybe Xabi Alonso, who comes into question.
I'm still going for Scholes, bro.
Oh yeah, Scholes. I had a friend.
Scholes was like the choir master.
I mean, he directed play to the left, to the right, and that shot he had on him when occasionally when he had that freedom to make that run like Frank Lampard did.
Is looking at
No, I agree.
When Scholes makes that run into the box like Lampard does, we all know his shot accuracy. I mean, the belters he's given us against Barcelona. But I was talking about Lampard's awareness in the Champions League final in 2008. There was a shot that deflected off Rio Ferdinand's back. At that time, Ronaldo had given Man United a lead. I mean, it just... I didn't see where Lampard came from. The commentator was just like, as Lampard and Chelsea are level. Like, where did he come? Like, he made those runs so consistent. So his intelligence, and he played to his strength. Mm-hmm. So I think Lampard deserves, a shout at this table. Gerrard, for a 1-man 1,000 team, Liverpool at that time, and what Gerrard did, I think he deserves that call. But they played ahead of Paul Scholes. Both of these players will have the opportunity to score more goals and more assists than Paul Scholes, who was playing further behind. So I think we can appreciate them for the qualities they bring in if we are comparing midfielders. But Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard can be in the conversation, especially Lampard and Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, and De Bruyne can be in one conversation. But I think Scholes is a bit withdrawn, and it's unfair to compare his numbers to theirs because of positional play. But it's subjective. Some people will pick Gerrard, others will pick Frank Lampard, others will pick Kevin De Bruyne, especially the more recent viewers of the EPL will take, a lot of them will go for De Bruyne, the Gen Zs especially.
And that means
maybe if we have an audience from the 80s, they'll have a few names that will also crop up, and we'll get into that debate. But I think these three, none of them is really head and shoulders. I mean, there may be a few differences in figures here and there, but it's subjective, and it boils down ultimately to personal preferences. But I don't think there'll be a title for who has been the most supreme of these three. But clearly, Gerrard, Lampard, and Kevin De Bruyne.
See in there. Anyway, we have a few messages. SportyFM, this is no argument. KDB has been the best, and no midfielder comes close. We thank his services. Henry from Kaswa. General, with KDB, I respect his legacy in the PL, but he comes nowhere close to Lampard in school. Prince from Tema Committee 25 is sending that in. KDB, with his numbers, is the best I've ever seen in recent years. We need his statue in front of the Etihad. Benton from Nanakro. I'll rank KDB number 2 in terms of everything he's achieved. We thank him for his service. Joseph from Hansonic. Hello, SportyFM. KDB's GOAT status is cemented. You can come with your player, but the Belgian is by far the best. Yorson from Tema Committee 1. Hello, Kosi. I think nobody comes close to him comparing his stats and everything he's achieved. I will rank him number 1. Parkway C. Shum from Aman From. KDB is the GOAT in the PL by far, with all the past and present midfielders. Stanley from Butwe. So I want us to wrap up on this KDB conversation. You've all made your points. Very quickly, you think he's the best? Yes, no? Ever?
Yeah, central attacking midfielder, yes. That particular position, yeah.
Best. Eustace?
Yeah. One of the best.
One of the best.
Yeah. One of the best.
And
one of the best.
So one thinks he's the best.
But for me, all-time Lampard. Like all-time Lampard, but central attacking midfielders in the EPL.
But because it's so difficult to say the best because all these guys they are good.
Personal preference will come in.
They are exceptional. Yeah. They're not just good.
So maybe we should put it to like very strong, strict.
Okay, let's say they're world class.
Because even N'Golo Kante will also sit on that table.
N'Golo Kante is a central midfielder.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, box to box.
Rodri.
General midfield play.
No, general midfield play. No, he's not an attacking midfielder. Yeah. So we can compare him to the likes of like the Carricks.
Okay.
Yeah, the Carricks, the Rodris,
the Scholes.
You know, the Scholes. Even Yaya Toure at the point of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, Yaya Toure became a box-to-box attacking midfielder at Man City. At Barcelona, he was a holding midfielder.
They are going to have to
even a centre back. Pep Guardiola played him as a centre back.
Yeah.
What a table!
Before we wrap up, I just want to. One of the callers said Pedri tracks back and De Bruyne. I think they are two different guys.
And the instruction is different.
Two different guys. Two different.
Pep Guardiola has always had that creative player who is free.
Yeah.
In all of the Messi wasn't asked to track back. Like I just said, Hazard wasn't asked to track back. Mesut Ozil wasn't asked to track back.
I mean, Hazard will tell you, I'm not supposed to track back. He will tell you point blank.
Yeah.
I mean, and nobody faulted him because even in training, he wouldn't train. It turn up in. Anyway, let's move on from this to Merseyside. Liverpool have been very, very good this season. In fact, they are literally storming their way to the title. But people as well are saying that they are not roaring. They are shouting in an empty room. They are only this good because everybody else has been bad. Ajo, is this a school of thought you subscribe to?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think the whole EPL this season has been quite bad. But let's big up Liverpool and their coach slot for his first season. It's crazy. I mean, you come in, you are not Conte, you are not Mourinho, but you come in and just win the league this comfortably. It's crazy. And he did one or two things that, I mean, I can praise him about, how he set up the Liverpool team to become compact. If you compare the Liverpool under Klopp, this team is very different now. Defensively, they are aware of what they want to do off the ball. He has made them so compact and they do their transitional plays so quickly.